Okay, so this weekend we've got AEW All In Texas. Now, of course, I don't be watching AEW on a regular basis like that. I'm not watching their day to day or their week to week television. I see the occasional clips here or there. I stopped watching regularly a long time ago. But of course, All In is one of their biggest shows of the year, or probably the biggest show of their year. So I'm going to give some predictions, even though I'm not completely clued into all the storylines. But I've got a general gist of what's going on at the high level. So yeah, let's get into it. Of course, first we're gonna have the women's casino gauntlet match. Nobody cares about that, so I'm not gonna be watching that. Then you've got the AEW World Tag Team Championship three-way, which is the Patriarchy, being Christian and Nick Wayne. Then you've got the Hurt Syndicate, who are the current champions, which is Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley. Then you've got Jet Speed, which is some black guy and Speedball. Right, and to be fair, as much as I'd like to see Jet Speed win this because I'm a huge fan of Mike Bailey, Speedball, I imagine it's probably going to be the Hurt Syndicate that retain. Even then, it wouldn't be a bad move seeing the Patriarchy win it because I'm never going to complain to see more of Christian Cage on TV and more of him with championships. But I imagine the Hurt Syndicate will retain in this one. Then next you've got the Young Bucks versus Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. Of course, if Swerve and Ospreay lose, then they can't challenge for the World Championships for a year. So that alone does make me think they might win this. But depending on how long they want this storyline to go for, because if they want this storyline to go on for another year, believe me, AEW will stretch this storyline for a year. It won't be, consistent tag teams for a year. They're gonna switch up, they're gonna do that, but if they want this storyline to carry on for a year and then have it that the Young Bucks win and they don't challenge for a year and they're just like a tag team, I could see AEW doing that too. I really could. I hope they don't though. I hope they don't because Swerve Strickland's been world champion before. If what happens what I hope is going to happen in the main event, then Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay winning this would be a good move because I'd like to see one of them challenge for the world title again soon. Preferably Swerve. Even though, of course, I am a big fan of Will Ospreay. But yeah, my pick for this match is Swerve and Will Ospreay to beat the Young Bucks. Then we've got Okada, who is the Okada is the Continental Champion. Omega is the International Champion. Two ridiculously pointless belts. And the winner of this takes both belts and becomes the AEW Unified Champion, which is also, again, very weird title. Again, just as pointless as those two belts are. And I'm imagining Okada will win this, just because he's the guy who's probably going to be around for a bit longer for AEW. Whereas if Omega's health scares are as serious as they sound, and they do sound very serious, I don't imagine we'll be seeing tons of Kenny Omega in the coming years, where hopefully AEW will want to have that with Okada though. Like they'll want Okada to be one of the big names that can have this unified champion and carry it and, go around the world defending this championship and can, main event AEW shows across the world. So I'm going to pick Okada for this one, even though I would love to see Kenny Omega win, but I think it's probably going to be Okada. Then we've got Toni Storm, who is the AEW World Women's Champion, against Mercedes Moné, who is the TBS Champion. Again, you've got the TBS Championship. Again, another pointless belt. Who is the Women's World Champion? That's all we care about. We don't need a TBS Championship. We don't need all these weird belts. Who's the best? Not one belt, but a couple. I mean, for women, yes, one belt. But for the men's, you don't need a Continental. You don't need an International. You don't need a TNT. It's nice to have, of course, but if you just had the TNT and I guess that's what they're going to have going forward. They're going to have the World Championship, the TNT, and the Unified Championship. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. But having 4 singles championships is crazy. And then you've even got the Ring of Honor championships that are, on AEW TV often these days. So you've got them too. I imagine Toni Storm will win this because she's got a lot of momentum right now. Mercedes hasn't really got much momentum. In my opinion, no one's really been too excited for an AEW run. I mean, I haven't in particular. I thought it's been pretty boring. And she's clearly not got the talent around her that she did at WWE as well. But that's her decision. She decided to join AEW. So, hey. Yeah, I think Toni Storm's going to win this though. Even though it's not even a winner-takes-all match. This is only for Tony Storm's championship. So I imagine Tony Storm will be retaining. Then we've got the men's casino gauntlet match. Of course, you've got Mark Briscoe at the number 1 spot. And you've got MJF at the number 2 spot. Honestly, I think MJF wins this. And he gets the guaranteed world title shot. I think that makes sense. Again, if we're going off what I think is going to happen in the main event, which we'll get to. I've made a video on about previously, but we'll get to. I think that's the move. I think MJF wins this and then challenges for the world title next. And then him and whoever's world champion will have a barn burner of a match, no doubt. Then you've got the AEW World Championship match. That is not the main event. That's a co-main. The co-main will be the TNT Championship, Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher. Now, Adam Cole's had a pretty bad AEW run so far, unfortunately. Marred by injuries. You know, he had that long storyline with MJF and it just fizzled out because both guys got injured and then you had a face turn and a heel turn. It was very weird, very messy, and very quickly became a nothing storyline that went absolutely nowhere. And now both guys have gone their separate ways and it was just an absolute botch of an entire storyline. Right? But hey, what can you do? Adam Cole is now the TNT champion and he's facing Kyle Fletcher. To be honest, Kyle Fletcher's got a lot of momentum. I think AEW are high on him right now. I'm really high on him right now. The crowd seem to be buying into him and he's a young guy and AEW don't have enough young stars. Here's a chance to make one. Put the TNT championship on Kyle Fletcher. That's who my pick is for that match. Then, of course, in the actual main event, you've got the AEW World Championship match, the Texas Death Match between the World Champion Jon Moxley and Adam Hangman Page. And I already made a video about this match before. I think Hangman absolutely has to win this match. Hangman is the most over babyface AEW has had in a while now. In a while, you know. No one else in that show is getting Hangman Adam Page reactions. Not Swerve, not Will Ospreay. They're getting good reactions, but they're not getting Hangman reactions. Right? They're not. That's just the fact of it. And Jon Moxley's run has gone on for more than long enough now. Come on now. Come on, guys. It's gone on for long enough. Like, we get it. We get it, bro. Death Riders, we get it, bro. It's over. Like, put the belt on Hangman now. And let Hangman be world champion for a bit. Okay? I think Hangman wins this. And then I think he feuds with MJF, who wins the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal. Yeah, the Casino Gauntlet match. He wins that, then challenges for the world title. And then I think now that Jon Moxley hasn't got the world championship anymore, that's when I think Darby Allin comes back, feuds with him. They have a blood feud, Darby and the Death Riders. And Darby, you know, has like a casket match or something, or a lights out match, destroys Jon Moxley, wins that match, and then that's the end of the Death Riders as a group. You know, I don't care if Wheeler Yuta and Cesaro want to be a tag team or whatever. But yeah, end the group now. It's gone on for long enough, and that's would be what my plan is, would be for it. But no doubt this will be a good card, a good event. There's a lot of good matches on here. I probably won't watch it live because we're in the UK and it's going to be on at ridiculous times over here. But it's a card I'm excited for nonetheless. Like I said, AEW's biggest event of the year, and they're going to want to show up for it. And they're going to want to turn out and put on a great show, and I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, let me know what you think of for the matches on the AEW All In Texas card. And let me know in the comments below. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.